Welcome to my video called Small Background Stamps Add Pizzazz. My name is Karen Slewinski. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Northeast Ohio. Thanks for joining me tonight. Have you ever had a stamp set like this, which is one of our new ones called Comfort and Hope, where it has smaller background stamps and you just don't know how to use those? Tonight I'm going to show you how to make a card using all three of these stamps. So tonight, my color palette is Pretty Peacock, Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Terracotta Tile. I fell in love with this color palette, but I'm going to show you where I got that from. Our catalog is full of all kinds of ideas. So I love this card sample here, and this is the color palette that I'm using tonight. I've used this in a number of cards, and it's just so pretty. So this catalog is not only a great source of ideas and inspiration, but it has all of our wonderful products. So we're going to start out by using a stitched rectangle. Now this is the third largest of the stitched rectangles, and I'm going to start out with my middle color, which is the Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to tap that down, and I'm going to stamp this pretty much in the middle of that rectangle. I'm going to clean my stamp off, and then I'm going to work in one direction. So next I'm going to go with my Pumpkin Pie. I'm just going to stamp that a little bit higher, maybe almost all the way to the top. And then my third one on that side is my Terracotta Tile. And I'm going to stamp that one a little bit lower here. And they're overlapping just a little bit. You want to still see each of the colors. Then working to the other side, I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to use my green. So this is my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to put that one a bit lower. And my last color is my Pretty Peacock, which I'm going to put up here. All right, so what we've done is use this small background stamp, and we have made this the main element or the main design element in our card. All right, so I'm going to take that, and I have a piece of basic gray, and we are going to mat this. So this piece of basic gray is 3 5/8 by 4 15/16, so it's just shy of 5 inches wide. But before we go ahead and we mat that, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper down. We are going to add some dimension and texture to this mat. So I'm going to use this stamp right here, and I'm going to stick with the same color as my mat, which is my basic gray. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to put this right up here in this corner, ink it up, and put it in this corner. Okay, so that's all we're doing with that one. I'm going to close this up. Now we are ready to go ahead and mat this. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue. We're just going to put that right here. Then I have a half a sheet of my basic card, my Whisper White card, and I am going to go ahead and stick this right on that card base. Move it over. Okay. All right, now we're ready to add our sentiment. So I have just a 1/2 inch piece of the white, and I am going to put our sentiment, Comfort and Hope. Let's see if I can get this lined up. It's a little bit crooked. I'm going to try that again. I've got another piece here. It's kind of hard to get your head in here because the camera's in the way, but I'm going to give it my best shot. That one's a little bit better. All right. Now what what we're going to do is we are going to use our Lovely You Pick-a-Punch, and we are going to just put a fancy edge on it. So this has two different designs. This one's a little bit more curvy. This one's a little bit more square. So we're just going to push this all the way in, and I like to make sure it's in okay. And I just turn it over and snip, and I'm going to put it in again, all the way in, and snip. And then we have a beautiful label. Then I have a little piece of gray that's just a little bit wider. So I'm going to stick this down. Okay. Slide that a little bit. And then I'm going to just trim it off with my trimmer, which is just a little bit off camera. And there we have. It's a little bit more. All right, now we're ready to stick this onto our card. I'm just going to use some dimensionals. So I'm going to peel off 3 dimensionals. Peel those backings off. And I'm going to just put this right in the middle of our card. All right. Now we're ready for the inside of our card. So this time we're going to use that background stamp as a backdrop for a sentiment. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this right in the middle of my card. Clean that off. And we are ready to stamp. I've got another piece of another sentiment strip. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my saying on there. Now this time I'd like to flag those ends. So what I like to do is make just a little bit of a dot, sort of where my flag point should be. So make sure I can see that. So that when I use my triple banner punch, I'm going to slide this in. I can see where I need to snip. And I have my banner. And obviously this one has to be trimmed a little bit. I trim that down. I'm going to slide that in. And make sure it's even. And oh, right there. Snip. And then I have my banner. And I'm going to just stick this down in my card. I'm going to add my little bit of glue. And I'm going to put that, oh, not upside down, right over that little bit of background that I stamped. All right, so there we have it. We've used our background stamps 3 different ways. First of all, as our main design element. Second of all, we've added to our mat to add dimension and texture. And then thirdly, we've done it as a backdrop for a sentiment. So don't be afraid to try those background stamps, even though they're not going to be big enough to cover your entire card. It's a great way to change up your style a little bit. I hope that you like this video. If you wouldn't mind, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Thanks again.